Stargirl, ladies and gentlemen, episode 10, the killer. And it's your boy Icon with a little DC TV. So, yeah, I was wrong about a lot of things. And I was right about a couple of things. But, so this particular episode starts, oddly enough, well, I'm not going to say oddly enough. It starts with the Crocs. And we get a montage of the Croc family and how wonderful their lives have become ever since they've joined the side of good. And the whole time we're showing this montage of all the wonderful things that the Croc family's doing. I'm just sitting here, I'm like, this doesn't feel right. Like, this feels like a setup. So, but more on that, more on that later. So this takes us to Jakeem and it takes us to Mike, who are in the woods running from the gorilla. And I was right about that because it turns out that the gorilla that they're running from is the Ultra Humanite. But they don't know that yet. So as they're running through, they're basically, because first they were looking for Cindy, and it was nighttime. In the last episode, it was nighttime when they was looking for Cindy. It's now daytime. Their parents aren't able to find them. Like Pat can't find them, Barbara can't find them. I feel like they lied to Jakeem's parents because Jakeem's parents, as far as being concerned about where their son was, never even got brought up in the episode. So you know, but they're still in the woods and they're running from the gorilla. They do bump into Cindy, and when they bump into Cindy, Cindy basically knows about the Ultra Humanite. And she said that, yeah, one of my father's old experiments is running around the forest. And she deduced that the Ultra Humanite was the one who killed the gambler, which also makes sense to me because I don't think it was the person who we saw in the end. I still think the Ultra Humanite, killed the gambler. But she said that she needs to find the Ultra Humanite and kill him so she can clear her name and rub it in the face of Courtney's stupid friends. So then, she ended up disappearing. And then after that, like, there was more gorilla sounds. And then Jakeem and Mike made a wish and they got themselves out of the forest and back to Blue Valley. They end up going to, they go back home. They see Mike, like Mike and Starman are there. And then they tell them, they're just like, where you guys been? And they're like, well, we saw a gorilla in the woods. And then they immediately was just like, oh, shit. So, like, they knew it was the Ultra Humanite from, from Jump Street. So now they got to get the whole band together so they can tell them the story about what this new particular threat is. Before they did that, they did go down to go talk to, the Icicle grandparents. And that conversation was basically like, because Pat wanted to ask them if they knew where the son was. And he was like, why would we know that? And then he was just like, where's your wife? And he's like, she's out on an errand. But they did try to broker peace. They were just like, listen, like the violence and everything has to stop. While they were talking to the grandfather, the grandmother actually went to Pat's house and ran up on Barbara. And she was legitimately going to kill Barbara. But then Tigress showed up and fired an arrow at the grandmother. And then she was like, you got 1 second to get your crusty ass about my house. And then grandma left. And then that's when Tigress ended up telling Barbara that she needs to learn how to at least fire a crossbow. And I'm glad that they did that because when they were doing the boxing scene, when Tigress was trying to teach her how to fight, and then, Barbara was like, oh, this isn't me. I'm not a fighter. I don't do violence. I was just like, please don't drop that storyline because there's so many things that Barbara did as far as like putting, herself into Tigress. Tigress needs to return that favor and put a little bit of herself into Barbara. Barbara needs to learn how to defend herself and she needs to fire a goddamn crossbow. I mean, I don't know where I don't know where the arrow went when she fired it. I thought that was a very funny scene, but I like the two of them together and I'm sad about the outcome now because we're probably not going to get that anymore. So anyway, now Starman in the game, they bring everybody together. That Rick still being a dick. He got mad at Beth and her parents and then Beth was just like, take the hourglass off. And he was like, don't tell me what to do. And then he walked away. He's still a bitch. So then they're talking to everybody else about the Ultra Humanite and about the whole thing with the brain. And they said that the Ultra Humanite was a criminal who figured out a way to put his brain in a gorilla so he could have like gorilla strength. And apparently it worked. And now they're just like, Courtney's like, we have to get everyone together. We have to get the Crocs together and we have to get, Cameron's parents on board. Everybody needs to be on board. This is our big bad for the season. This is this year's Eclipso and we're going to need everyone's help in order to take him down. Courtney then goes and talks to Cameron, which was dumb. And when she had the conversation with Cameron, who was still upset and he was still angry about what happened to his grandfather, Courtney did a horrible job of reassuring him and explaining the situation. I mean, she did tell him, she was just like, listen, your father killed people. Your father did bad things, and that's why we had to stop him. But then when Cameron was just like, but who was the person responsible for like doing the death blow to my dad? I mean, all Courtney had to say was like, it was a team effort. She did say that his death was an accident, but I'm just like, explain. do a better job of explaining the accident. All she had to say was it's like he wasn't supposed to die. He like the way he died was a complete accident and nobody meant to kill him. But instead she just stands there looking stupid and then he's just like, tell me who did it. And then instead of her saying, because at that moment you would have just been like, listen, I will tell you who killed your father, but I will the moment you calm down because you look like once I tell you who did it, you're going to go run off and kill the person. And he was just like, it matters to me, Courtney. Tell me who killed my father. And I'd have been like, no, I'm like, bring it down a notch. But then instead of her actually talking to him to try to calm him down, or reassuring him that she will give, or at least ask him, she's like, if I give you the name of the person who did it, what are you going to do? You know, like at least say that, but she didn't do any of that. And then she ended up doing the dumb thing where in an effort to protect Mike, she told Cameron that she was the one who killed his father. So she lied. And he was just like, don't ever speak to me again. You're dead to me. And I was just like, here we go with the teenage drama. So he gets mad and he walks away. And then Courtney walks away and then she's done for the rest of the episode. So now the Crocs end up going to the McKent household because they figured they were just like, listen, the bloodshed needs to stop. They're talking to both McKent people. And they're just like, look, we followed your son. We were on your son's team. We believed in your son's message. Ultimately, your son wanted peace and he wanted to bring, tranquility to Blue Valley. She said this whole thing with you and like the Whitmore family, with you killing them and them killing y'all and all this back and forth. She's like, that's not what Kent wanted at the end of the day. And your son is somebody who, who despite all of his bad flaws, he did strive for peace. So she asked them if we could just bury the hatchet and, if both sides can come together. So the grandparents, they kind of seem like they're coming around on that one. Like they seem like they might take a walk over into the light. So we'll see what happens more, and hopefully more on that in the last 3 episodes. And then finally, and here was the sad part. Finally, so the Crocs, they're walking home because they feel good because they think that they got the icicles on their side. They helped out the Whitmore family. And then Artemis called and she was like, Mom, Dad, I got accepted into a football scholarship for college. So their daughter's going to be the first female quarterback out of college. So, and then as soon as Sportsmaster said, everything's coming up Croc, I thought about the beginning when they did the montage about them. And I was like, wait, montage about their perfect lives being reformed. Tiger is helping out Barbara and giving Barbara teaching lessons. Both of them talking to the McKent family. I was like, they're doing a lot of good things. They're helping a lot of people. And I was just like, the Croc family legitimately has reformed. They're about to die. Because it was too convenient. It was too much of the show saying, hey everybody, look at the Croc family, how they went from 0 to 6. I was like, they're about to die. And then there was a trail of flyers that were on the floor that actually had their picture on it, and they followed the trail. When they got to the sewer and realized that the trail led into a sewer, I don't know why they did not call the Whitmore family and get the JSA down there immediately. These dumbasses, they go in the sewer, and then when they go in the sewer, they see the television screens and everything, and then they're confronted by the killer, the person who probably he's a person who played a part in killing the gambler, because like the Thunderbolt said, the gambler's killer has many names, but he was also the person that was keeping tabs on them, the person who was under the cowl this entire time. It was indeed the return of Icicle, and I was like, wow, because I legitimately didn't see that coming. And in this day and age, it is very rare for a television show to catch me off guard to the point where they do something that I don't see coming. So kudos for that, because I didn't think y'all was going to bring Jordan McKent back, because he literally got destroyed. He got broken into like 50 million pieces, and I need an explanation as to how those pieces got put back together. They did say that the Ultra Humanite, he was a result of both him and like Cindy's daddy, like the two of them together like created the technology that put his brain inside a gorilla. So I'm guessing if the Ultra Humanite is around now, I'm guessing the Ultra Humanite, and maybe Cindy's dad is still alive too, we don't know, but maybe the Ultra Humanite played a part in bringing Jordan back to life. Well, obviously they played a part in it because he's back. So the Ultra Humanite, I believe, played a part in bringing him back, and the two of them are working together. I believe that the Ultra Humanite was the one who killed the gambler, but he's working with Jordan McKent and possibly working with Dragon King and other people, which is why the Thunderbolt said it's a group effort of who killed the gambler, and now Jordan McKent just killed the Croc family. And that was very sad because I like the Crocs. But I don't think the Crocs are finished because, first of all, if you can bring back Jordan McKent, who was shattered into a million pieces, you can do the same thing for the Croc family because they were equally shattered into a million pieces. So that can happen as well. Like, we can bring the Croc family back, but also I want to see where everything's going as far as like the team up with the Ultra Humanite, how he got brought back to life. And here's the kicker, everybody. I feel like whatever technology or mystical, magical science mumbo jumbo brought Jordan McKent back from the dead, that same technology or science was also used on Starman. Starman was a result of this, and maybe Starman has programming in his brain that he's not aware of, and at some point Starman's going to betray everybody because he's been under the control of the Ultra Humanite and Jordan McKent all along. I feel like the Ultra Humanite, he might even be controlling Jordan McKent too. We don't know. So we'll see. That, like I said, this was very interesting. I am looking forward to the next episode to see what the hell is going to happen. And thank you for tuning in. So leave your questions, comments, and or concerns down below. Let me know what you thought about the reveal that Jordan McKent is back, Icicle back in the house. What do you think about the Croc family dying? Like, are you pissed? Are you upset? Did you see it coming? I mean, I saw it coming because of how they shedded the light on them throughout the entire episode. And where we go from here. What's going on with Rick? Because Rick is a loose cannon at this point. There's still no Solomon Grundy. Lord knows where Jenny and her brother is, but hopefully we'll find out because we only have 3 more episodes to go. So hit me up on Twitter and Instagram as always. Check me out on YouTube. Got a lot of good videos going out because Titans is still going strong on the channel as well. I still got my Comic-Con video for everybody that wants to check out my Comic-Con video. And Black Panther is out. So once I go see Black Panther, we will do a review for that as well. So thank you for tuning in as always. So until next week for a little Stargirl action, take care because it's getting mighty cold and we're out this bitch.